The following program is an OCAmedia community-produced episode of Oregon Life, and we would like to thank our sponsor, the Oregon Brooklyn Optimist Club. We are proud to have you as a sponsor. Hello, I'm Frank Caruso, producer of Oregon Live, and welcome to a brand new episode. We have a two-part episode here. This is the first part. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary of 14 South Artists, and we get to talk to a lot of the artists and see their art, and they talk about their inception of art and what it means to them to create art. We'll meet the co-founder in this episode, and then in part two, we'll visit some more artists. So stay tuned for an exciting Oregon Live coming up next.
So I'm Gary Walker, and I'm co-founder, first president of 14 South Artists that we founded back in 2004, and happy to be here tonight, happy to see that they've gone 20 years and the group is thriving. That's a wonderful thing. For me, I've been an artist my whole life. I grew up, my dad owned an art studio, commercial art studio is what got me into the arts. From that I became a commercial artist for many years and went into marketing and that sort of thing. And we did a lot of creative services for corporate clients and so on. We got really good at high-end digital art, and always wanted to do my own personal artwork. And so when we finally finished our art business, or our corporate art business, wanted to take the opportunity to start doing some of my own art. And so we started to do that, and thought we'd sell to hotels and hospitals and that sort of thing, which is what we did. But we started our little art studio, and we started meeting our other artists and realized how important the art is to all the local artists and how important it is to the communities. So we were really happy to be able to be part of starting the 14 South Artists group, and see everybody get inspired by their art, to see people come together and create friendships and creativity and that sort of thing that artists share amongst each other. So we're happy to see art thriving in the community, and hope that it'll continue that way, and that this group will help to inspire other artists to be creative.
Hi, I'm Jill. I'm a glass artist with 14 South Artists Group. Art has been a driving force for me my whole life. I've always wanted to be an artist. When I was a child, I used to draw, and would even submit various pieces of art to all of those advertisements in the backs of magazines for art schools, and would get very pleasant denial letters, but I wasn't deterred from it. But unfortunately, as my life progressed, I went through school and went into the sciences instead, which is very different than art. The sciences taught me so much, and I've been able to earn a great living as an IT professional. And as I've explored my artistic side, I've realized how important the addition of artwork is to the education of our youngsters. In my opinion, I couldn't live without art. And I'm sorry that it took me so long to actually get a career in art started, but I'm very grateful.
Hi, my name is Sharon, and I'm a watercolor artist and a gourd artist. I enjoy doing these crafts tremendously. They give me a lot of good feeling in my life. One of the things about art that I think is very important is it brings the color to the world that we really need. All of us have color in our world, and they don't see it properly. They see it only as walking by. Art has brought to me the vividality of all the beautiful sceneries, the colors, the flowers, the trees, the leaves. It just brings it all to the focus and makes me feel good. I'm enjoying it. I've always thought I could be an artist, but I never thought I could. I go and see art, I pass by it and say, oh, that's beautiful, but I can do that. And finally, I decided it was time for me to do that. So I took up watercolors. I learned how to do oil painting by Bob Ross method, which is the wet on wet with oils. I didn't like oil as much as I liked watercolor because you could shade and blend and bring the colors to life that way. I am never bored because I can always pick up a piece of paper, draw, paint, or take a gourd, clean it. I plant them in my gardens, I grow them, I start from scratch with those, and I just love doing them all. It's important to me.
Hi, I'm Natalie Falconer. I'm one of the 14 South artists. I also have my own business, Singing Shaman LLC. Art goes way back for me. As far back as I can remember, I always loved to draw. Even when I was in school, I'd be doodling on the side of my notebooks. And drawing was a really nice release of all these pent-up emotions that I was holding on to, so it was very therapeutic in that way. I kind of got away from art for a while and then back into it in college, where I started to learn painting. And now I use it a lot in my business. So I have a shamanic healing business and I make shamanic ceremonial tools, and there's a lot of artistry involved in that. And it's also helped me branch out and try out wood burning, which is really fun. It's like drawing with fire. It's really a good time. I'm also a mom, and watching my own child explore art has been just a beautiful journey. She already talks about abstract art and she's only 5 years old. She loves to explore all different types. She just wants to try it. So it's really just fueling her adventurous spirit.
Hi, I'm Karen Callahan. I am a member of 14 South Artists, and my primary art form is needle felting. I also do some beadwork and some stone carving. But my journey with art started decades ago. My mother made sure that all of us, and there were 7 kids in the house, she made sure we were all exposed to art in all forms. Paintings, we went to Kenley Players, for those of us old enough to remember that. Concerts, they were always playing classical music in the background. So the exposure was there from the time I was a child. I remember I won my first contest as a first grader doing a poster about the World's Fair, and I was competing against second graders, and the fact that I won that was very exciting. And actually kind of telling for my journey after that, because it was a 3D piece sculpted of the Space Needle in Seattle, Washington. And although it's hard for most of us to call ourselves artists, we think that we're just dabbling in creative and making nice things that we enjoy. But it's a difficult thing to identify yourself as an artist. I have come to feel comfortable with that. And what I came to realize later is that what I really enjoy is the sculpting process. And it started way back in first grade with my project of the 3D Space Needle. But stone carving, there is a cliche that when you're stone carving, what you're doing is removing what shouldn't be there. Needle felting is the opposite of that. You're adding until you get to the point that you've got what should be there. So it's creating contour and contrast by form. And I really enjoy that. That is very satisfying for me. Anytime you engage in creating art, performing art, observing art, it's a transformative experience. Every one of us can remember a time when you heard a piece of music or you saw a piece of art that just sent chills down your spine. And that was an important moment for you. And that's what we do. That's what we do at 14 South Artists. And that's what I encourage all of you to do and encourage your kids to do. And especially kids who have trouble expressing themselves in other ways. They may really blossom when they find the right art form that helps them express themselves and their emotions. Because that's a hard thing. Remember being a teenager, it's tough. So give them the tools they need to express. And it's good for all of us. So Thanks for listening. Yeah.
Ed Meechin. I am the husband of Francine Tompkins, who is the president of 14 South Artists, and we both love to fill our house with art. I'm a gardener. I have been the past president of the Madison Area Master Gardeners Association for the past 10 years, and I have loved to make our gardens combined with Francine's art. We have art throughout the gardens, and the gardens themselves are artistic. We've created 8 different gardens in our property, not counting the gardens for vegetables. And wherever we go on our mini trips abroad, we like to pick up something of art in them and bring it back. One of our rooms has art from all over Europe and the Caribbean that we have procured over the years, and we love to live in that kind of an environment. The summer is spent on art in the gardens. The winter is spent on art in the family history.
Hi, I'm Krista Larson. I do mixed media Ukrainian eggs. I started that in about '96, watching a Martha Stewart program where she was showing how to make Ukrainian Easter bread. And she had her guest came on and showed these beautiful dyed eggs, and the process is rather complicated. So it's dipping a kiska, or one of these, which has a little funnel on the end, and you dip it in flame and get it hot, and then you dip it in some beeswax and you scoop that in, and you use the beeswax, the hot melted beeswax, on an egg. And the art of Ukrainian egg is called paisanki, which means to write. And so you're literally writing on an egg your design, and whatever you want to stay white, you cover with wax, and then you dip the dye or egg into the dye, and start with yellow, work all the way up to black, and you start with yellow, and whatever you want to stay yellow, you add more dye to stay yellow, and then on to orange and reds, and they say you end up with black. So when you're all done, your egg is covered in beeswax and the egg is black, so you can't see if your design worked. And then you take your egg and you hold it over the candle flame, and taking a soft cloth, you start rubbing the beeswax off and you see if your design worked. And you kind of get a soft burnishing from the beeswax, the remaining beeswax on the egg, so it kind of makes its own polish. I've been doing art of some way, shape, or form pretty much my entire life. My mom comes from a big family of 13 kids, and there were lots of artists among those members. We did a lot of sewing, we did a lot of crochet, knit, embroidery, as well as I make homemade paper, which my high school teacher saw that I liked it so much and gave me the screens so I could continue to make homemade paper. I do pastels and drawing, some watercolors, and I have this idea to make homemade paper and add seeds to the paper, and then paint the flower from the seed in watercolor on the paper, and people could give that as gifts, and they can plant the paper, so it's a card and a gift all in one.